What is going on, Knicks Nation? We are back. Post-game live streams are back. Took a little break. The West Coast trip has come to a close. Knicks lose 94-97 to the Golden State Warriors. A lot of stuff to talk about tonight. A lot of stuff, a lot of drama. What's going on, everybody? Appreciate every single one of you. Knicks end the West Coast trip 2-3. 2-3 in the West Coast trip. Whole lot of frustration. Great wins. Portland win. Good win over there. Obviously, the Mikal Bridges buzzer beater. Look, the Knicks have been on the road for 11 days, and it ended tonight, and they're going to fly back home now. And I'm sure they're missing, their family and everything, but it's the life of the NBA. But this one was a tough one down the stretch. A lot of blunders. Silly mistakes from this New York Knicks team, especially coaching there at the end. But look, a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. Appreciate every single one of you in the chat. Once again, you know what to do as well. Shout out to Karl Anthony Towns first and foremost. It was the Karl Anthony Towns versus Draymond Green show. And Cat balled out, man. Karl Anthony Towns did everything in his power to win this basketball game for the New York Knicks, and some of his teammates let him down tremendously. And we'll go through the box score. We'll go through everything, but Cat was locked in. OG was locked in. I thought OG, when he ran or when he trucked Draymond Green on the ground in that first half, I was hype. And then you see OG clapping in front of Draymond Green's face. You knew, look, Karl Anthony Towns is saying all the nice things in the media, being professional, but he wanted to let his game speak for himself, and he balled out tonight. And unfortunately, the Knicks just couldn't pull through a victory in Golden State. 0-2 against the Golden State Warriors, 94-97, man. Not your high-scoring affair that, we would think that the Golden State Warriors and New York Knicks would be. But appreciate every single one of you in the chat. Loud and clear. What's going on, Jared? What's going on, Jared? How are you? Big Taz. Salute, Big Taz. That's the Knicks Nation Day 1. How are you? Nostalgic. Knicks Nation Day 1. Tony Tone. What's going on? Too many mistakes at the end. This was a winnable game, even without Josh Hart showing up. Josh Hart. Precious Achua. Campaign. Terrible. Our bench was terrible. Precious Achua. We'll put him on the shelf really quick. We'll get to him. But Josh Hart today. Look, Josh Hart and Thibs yelling at each other on the sideline. More family drama. National TV. ABC had a good camera angle at Josh Hart and Tom Thibodeau yelling at each other. And Tom Thibodeau looked like he screamed at Josh Hart, get in the effing game. And Hart, Thibs yelling at each other. Look, these things happen in the NBA. There's something going on here in Knicks land. Mikal Bridges last week, a couple of days ago. Now Josh Hart is seen yelling at Tom Thibodeau, which I'm sure happens all the time, by the way. And we just don't see it. But there's a little stuff going on behind the scenes that is starting to come out now. And that is kind of a concern depending where you lie on the subject. But I'm just saying, a little bit of a concern. But Hart, Thibs yelling at each other. Hart had a terrible game. Absolutely terrible game from Mr. Josh Hart tonight. Terrible. No points, right? Goose egg. Goose egg from Josh Hart. And look, Thibs was probably saying to him, like, get in the game, man. 7 assists, 7 rebounds. But Josh Hart was terrible. Terrible game. One of his worst games this season. And this was up there as a terrible game from Josh Hart. I thought at the end there, look, Knicks could have easily won this game. But in that fourth quarter, man, the mistakes of I thought Deuce McBride, first and foremost, got fouled by Curry when Curry blocked him. Ref swallowed the whistle. Deuce inbounding the basketball on a crucial inbound. You have Deuce McBride inbounding the basketball when Mikal Bridges is normally your inbounder. And then you switch it up the next inbound play and you put Mikal out there. I thought that was a blunder from Tom Thibodeau. You already know Deuce McBride is extremely hesitant at making a risky pass, and it bit you there. When you needed to inbound a basketball, just inbound the ball. Deuce McBride didn't feel comfortable inbounding the basketball. Look, McBride today, 8 of 17, 3 of 6 from 3, timely shots, 19 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds. Had a crucial turnover there in the late stages of the game. But this game was really Precious Achiuwa, trash. Campaign, couldn't buy a bucket, trash. Landry Shamet was, look, 0-1 from, he wasn't good. Mitchell Robinson, I thought, looked slow out there. I thought he was laboring out there. His conditioning, he's trying to get his conditioning back, but not really productive stuff from Mitch. Looked better there kind of in the second half, but I thought he was just running slow. And Josh Hart gave you absolutely nothing tonight. And we'll talk about all the lineups. We'll talk about Thibs going to Hart, Precious. The Thibs keeps going to Hart, Precious, and I wrote this down. And Mitchell Robinson. That lineup is terrible, by the way. Whew. Discord. Hit up the Discord. Call-in show. I see you guys waiting. I'll get to your calls a little bit later. Let's hit some of these comments tonight. I appreciate every single one of you in the chat. Rasul says salute to the chat. What's going on, Rasul? Hope all is well. This Rover, what's going on? Vibe says Josh played like garbage. Trash. Russell says the refs screwed us. Yeah, the ref. Look. I thought Deuce got fouled there by Steph Curry, but you can't blame this on the refs. I thought the refs were terrible tonight. Look, refs have been terrible all season long, guys, as we know. Referees just have been terrible. You know, some of the calls, freaking Draymond Green, man. Please, man, I don't condone violence, but this man, every time I look at this man's face, I just want to, man, please. I want a PJ Tucker to come into the game and just lay this man out. Shout out to OG Anunoby for laying Draymond Green on his ass in the second quarter, in the first half. Was it first or second quarter? But trucked him. Draymond Green pulling OG Anunoby's elbow, and they call a foul on Anunoby, and Anunoby's looking at the ref like, what are you doing? But this game was just, fundamentally, it was like little things, man. It's just Deuce, I thought, hit some timely shots tonight, but the inbounding play, I thought you should have had Mikal inbounding that damn basketball. You can't have Deuce inbounding that basketball. You can't. And you're seeing frustration come out. You're seeing frustration come out from this New York Knicks team, right? You're seeing Hart and Thibs yelling at each other on the sidelines. You're seeing Mikal Bridges in shoot-around talking about minutes. And then Mikal Bridges and Tom Thibodeau had a closed-door meeting discussion, and they, quote-unquote, squashed everything, and everything is okay. But what you're seeing now over this past week is some stuff is starting to come out, starting to pile up here. And I don't know, the seat's kind of warming up a little bit. Just saying, man, because we haven't seen stuff like this. And look, family drama, it happens, right? You fight with your cousins. You fight with your brothers and sisters. You fight all the time. They fought all the time, back in the day. And, teams in the NBA still fight amongst one another. And this happens all the time. But amidst everything that has happened in the past week, then you pile on the Josh Hart screaming at the Tom Thibodeau. Just a little bit interesting, something to watch, but Hart was just abysmal. abysmal tonight. Loud and Clear says, Ant, please make a poll. Who is running our offense? Look, Deuce gave you 19 points, Loud and Clear, but he is not a floor general. He's not a point guard. He's more of a catch and shoot guy. He can. We saw some creation tonight, but in terms of getting players in their spots, making that risky pass, that is not Deuce McBride's strength, right? And when you bring in Campaign to kind of give you a little bit of that, floor general stuff and, just run the offense like a true point guard, he was abysmal tonight. 10 minutes, 0-4 from the field, 0-4 from 3. And those shots were good looks for Campaign. Abysmal. Precious Achiuwa, guys. Precious Achiuwa, man. Look, I love Precious. I love his energy. I love him as a person. But him being out there is so detrimental to this team in terms of spacing. Like, the Knicks try to use him as this 4, and he's not really a 4 because he can't shoot. And they've thrown out lineups with him, Hart, Mitch. That is one of the worst lineups in the NBA. In the NBA. And Tom Thibodeau continues to go to that lineup. Abysmal. Precious Achiuwa has been terrible. Let's just face it. I love Precious as a person. Has he had good games? Yes. Right? You guys know I've been coming on here. When he has good games, I give him his props. But guys, he has just been absolutely terrible. Mishandling a ball on a fast break. They give him the ball below the free throw line. He airballs a shot, and he's like, I just got to get more. Just got to get more elbow in that one. You can't shoot. You're not a shooter, man. You're not a shooter. Loud and Clear says Precious Achiuwa killed the momentum. Yeah, like this just, and I know, look, he had to come in the game in the first half because Cat was in foul trouble, and you had Draymond sending Cat to the bench, like, oh, go to the bench. You're like, scrappy game, but you love it. You knew they were gonna come in here with a chip on their shoulder. Cat was awesome, man. It's just your bench gave you nothing. Nothing. You're not gonna win too many games, and this is why people go after the coach. This is why people go after Tom Thibodeau, because Precious nothing. You mean to tell me you brought in PJ Tucker? He can't do the things that you want Precious Achiuwa to do. DeLon Wright, you traded for DeLon Wright. He can't do something. He can't do some of the things Precious attempts to do. At least he can stretch the floor a little bit. You bring these guys in. You don't play them. While the players you play stink. Nothing. Nothing from Mr. Precious Achiuwa. You can't give me 5 minutes of PJ Tucker out there. You can't give me 5 minutes of DeLon Wright out there. And look, we all know what Mikal was talking about. We all know what Mikal was talking about, man, because Precious has just been, sometimes watching him, guys, I'm sorry. I cannot watch it, man. I'm sorry. And look, he has had his good games. But the momentum, you just kill, like Loud and Clear said, he just killed the momentum at times in this game. Air ball, fast break. He goes off his hands and it just frustrating loss, man. You really wanted this one. You really wanted this from Cat especially. And unfortunately, the Knicks couldn't get it done. Cat was awesome, man. 29, 12, 3, 5 offensive boards in only 30 minutes because he was in foul trouble, right? And Josh Hart, 39 minutes of cardio. Precious, 10 minutes of cardio. Campaign, 10 minutes of cardio. Guys, that's 39 plus 10. That's 49. That's 59 minutes of cardio from 3 players on the team. And if you want to throw Mitchell Robinson in there, that's 60 minutes of cardio because I think he gave you 6 solid minutes. So that's 60 minutes of cardio from 3 guys. Just gave you nothing. Absolutely nothing out there. Appreciate every single one of you in the chat. Subscribe, like, do all the good stuff. Frustrating loss. Isaiah says, we need to get rid of Thibs, man. It's getting ridiculous how outcoached and outphased he's getting. I'm super worried about the playoffs. This team doesn't look ready at all. Sequeezy says, Josh and Payne both had a tono. What's going on, Sequeezy? Appreciate you. Yuri says, Josh was, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Players and coaches argue a lot. That's normal. From Bogar in the chat. Normal stuff. But it's interesting to watch that stuff as you had the Mikal Bridges situation happen just a few days ago, right? TA, what's going on? We right at the rim and miss. A lot of stuff at the rim. Mike says Deuce should have never inbounded the basketball. Never. It's just little stuff like that. You shouldn't, as a coach, you're a great coach, quote unquote. You're a great coach in this league. You should not have Deuce McBride inbound the basketball. Deuce McBride is hesitant at making risky passes. We saw it in the Laker game where they tried to get the ball to Karl-Anthony Towns. McBride couldn't get a good read on the pass. He didn't make the pass. He wound up taking an isolation play. You saw it tonight. You put Deuce McBride as the inbounder, turnover. And it just stinks because I don't want to come on here and, scream at and complain about that because McBride, I thought, was solid, really solid tonight, man. Timely shots, timely threes. I mean, 3 of 6 from 3, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, but he was great. I mean, McBride, Cat, OG was phenomenal again. OG and Obi, by the way, guys. OG's a dog. OG's a dog. It's always the quiet ones, right? They always tell you to watch out for the quiet ones. OG's a dog. He really impressed me tonight. Going at Draymond, laying him out on the ground. I really wanted to see more of that. But OG Anunoby, it's the quiet ones you got to watch out for, as they say. But he was awesome. By the way, OG going up for layups, it's like he's jumping into a pool when he goes up for layups around the rim. So he's funny, but I love OG. El Figgy, I'm hoping we'll make it out the first round at this point. El Figgy, what's going on? Gangster says Thibs can't read the game. Guys, this was during the game right here. This was the play I was talking about. Tom Thibodeau and Josh Hart going at it, screaming at one another on the bench. You see PJ tapping on Josh Hart. Sham is trying to get everyone to cool off. We good over here. But if you were to lip read, guys, if you were to lip read, it sounds like Thibs said, "Get in the effing game" to Josh Hart. Get in the effing game right there. Get in the effing game. Josh Hart was terrible. So look, Thibs, you just rarely see this. And Hart is stubborn, but he's smart. You rarely see this stuff, especially out in the open on national TV. It happens. I'm not concerned about this type of stuff happening because it's the NBA and this stuff happens all the time. But the past week, the Mikal comments, Thibs denying it. You saw Thibs practically just he was heated during his response before the game, in response to Mikal. So this was Josh Hart and Tom Thibodeau just going at one another, guys, and it's frustrating, man. Frustrating loss, guys. Knicks lose. I got the let me take this Mikal Bridges, play the bench more. Knicks lose 94-97 to the Warriors. Look, 2-3 on the West Coast trip. The captain's out. We got an update from Jalen Brunson that said, from Sham Charania from ESPN, that Jalen Brunson is not going to be available until late March, early April. You kind of figured that. Knicks, you lost them versus the Lakers during the Lakers game. They end the road trip 2-3. Been on the road for 11 days. That is a long, long time to be on the road. And you really wanted to finish this one with a W to kind of go back home on kind of like a positive note. But, you couldn't get it done. Execution down the stretch I thought was abysmal. Yes, there were some questionable calls. Just the offense wasn't flowing all game long, really. And let me take this game stat overlay off, okay? And look, 20 assists tonight for the Knicks. Offense wasn't really moving and grooving, right? You weren't really moving and grooving as a unit. So L Figure says, let Jalen rest as long as possible. These guys have to figure it out. Tony says OG and Mikal only took 7 shots combined in the second half. Why? Coaching. That's scheme, right? It's frustrating because Mikal Bridges, I thought, efficient night and 14 shots, 8 of 14, 1 of 3 from 3. Get into the free throw line again, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 19 points. You feed your beasts. You feed Mikal, you feed OG. Cat was awesome. And the Knicks just couldn't execute down the stretch. 7 shots for Mikal and OG in the second half, I think, is, not what you want. Like Joe Girardi once said. It's not what you want. So, and then you got this guy right here just running cardio out there. He's just running cardio. And look, I love Precious. Love him as a person, love him as a player. But the Knicks view him as like this 4, and like they play him at a 4 as this 4, and they like he can't shoot, he can't stretch the floor. Yeah, can he do his little corner threes every now and then, once in a blue moon, 1 out of 10 shots he's hitting corner threes? But you mean to tell me PJ Tucker can't replicate what Precious is doing out there? And PJ Tucker is actually a good corner 3-point specialist. Not specialist, but he's a good corner 3-point shooter. And look, I get it. Tucker has just gotten here last week, so you don't want to throw him out there to the wolves, but why not? Why not, man? If your bench isn't giving you a spark, deviate. Tucker, DeLon Wright. We haven't even seen DeLon Wright, really. Kolek. We know Kolek can run an offense, right? He's a floor general. He can run an offense, even though he's a rookie. Haven't seen him. Right? And I think that's all scheme, guys. Loud and Clear says Precious killed us tonight, and I hate to say it as well. And yeah, man, he did. He did. Terrible. Just terrible game. Terrible game for Mr. Precious Achiuwa. And I love him. I do. I love Precious. I love me some Precious, but tonight, and quite frankly, he's just been bad lately. Yasier says we can't win when Josh Hart is scoring 0 points. Exactly. One of Josh Hart's worst games this season, right? And I thought even around the rim, he was missing normal layups that he would convert. And look, you love the 7 assists, you love the 7 boards, but just gave you absolutely nothing offensively. And, teams all year long. And lately, he's been knocking down his threes, but, they're daring him to shoot. 0-7 from the field, 0-2 from 3. And it quite frankly carried over to the sideline where I don't know what was being discussed, but maybe Josh Hart didn't like a play, or Tom Thibodeau was just frustrated at Josh Hart's play, pretty much telling him to get his ass in the game, like get your head in the game. And it just carried over, and it's just like a domino effect. After that timeout, though, the Knicks actually made a little bit of a run, got back in the game, and you're thinking to yourself, like, okay. But then the execution stuff, the late game execution was just bad, in my opinion. So, Gerson Rodriguez with the super chat. Appreciate you, Gerson Rodriguez, with the super chat. He says, let's make this smaller. The problem is not defense. This isn't an offensive plan. Whomever is drawing the offense should be fired. Let's put this back up there. Every play is a guess in offense. The players don't even know what's to play. No offensive scheme. That's from Gerson Rodriguez. Appreciate you with the super chat. Thank you for the support. Thank you for hopping in the Knicks Nation post game. Agree with everything you just said. No offensive scheme, right? And tonight, look, 94 points is not really going to cut it in this league, right? But anytime you held, the Knicks defense has been actually solid. When Jalen has gone down, the Knicks defense, their defensive rating has been great. And what has taken a hit right now is the Knicks offense. And, when you don't have a kind of like somebody running the offense and putting people in their spots, and I know Deuce is great at what we ask him to do, catch and shoot stuff. I thought tonight he even created a little bit and got to his areas of the basketball court and he was converting. But when you don't have people putting people in their spots and running the offense and, just getting things flow seamlessly like we didn't see tonight, it's just tough to get in any type of rhythm. And who is the head of that? Right? You should have your coach needs to come on. Get in the game. Get in the game. There's no offensive flow. There's no offensive plan. Right? And it's just mental errors. And look, their captain has gone down, right? And this Knicks team has to kind of find a different, what's the word I'm trying to look for? Just find a different ways to win basketball games. And Portland game was great. Mikal, amazing shot, but mental errors in that game. Josh Hart traveling in the baseline. Knicks almost blew that damn game. Just mental errors that we're seeing from this Knicks team lately cost them. And offensively right now, they just have to find their rhythm again. When somebody of Jalen Brunson's caliber goes down, it kind of changes everything. And I kind of want Mikal to have the ball in his hands more and kind of run the offense more through Mikal. And we saw that quite a bit last game, these last couple of games actually, but tonight we really didn't see that and they kind of went away from it. And I understand your frustration, but I appreciate the super chat as always. Gerson. Isaiah says, I think we're better than the Warriors, man, but sometimes something internally is happening to the Knicks. It sucks to see it happen. Yes. He does not want to shoot Hart. Draymond shoots more than him. What's going on, Marsh Zone? This Rover says our offensive coach is 70-year-old Mo Cheeks. Oh, man. Jesse says this was the kind of game where we needed PJ Tucker to come in and shake things up. I really was hoping to see him against Draymond Green. Tony says exactly, no offensive plays. Almost seems like we don't have an offensive playbook. We have schemes. Obviously, we have schemes, but what you're facing is you're starting McBride at the point guard spot, and his strength isn't a point guard. That's not his strength. So you're asking kind of like Josh Hart to bring the ball up sometimes. Mikal Bridges, we've seen in the past couple of days, bringing the ball up, but it's just no fluidity out there. And you see it in the assists, 20 assists, and guys, that's why when Brunson went down, I was an advocate for Tyler Kolek because I know what the kid can do. Great pick and roll player, great at getting people in their spots, great at passing the basketball. That's why I was an advocate for playing Tyler Kolek. And even Campaign does that at times, but tonight you didn't see that because he just played like hot garbage. And he was just looking for his shot most of the night. And when Campaign is doing that, I mean, it's not going to look good. And especially when he's not hitting his shots. And 37% from three as a team, it's okay. That's where you want to be. Shooting the three, 37%. Mike, what's going on, Mike? Appreciate you in here. I hope all is well. Mike Woods, appreciate you in here. Thank you for becoming a member again. I've been MIA, but I've been watching and I've been observing, and the truth is Thibs needs to be moved at the end of the season. He doesn't get the best out of the players. He isn't the coach to bring us to the next level. That is from Mike Woods in the chat. What's going on, Mike? Yeah, right here, right? Tom Thibodeau and Josh Hart getting after it during a timeout break. Just pause that on Tom Thibodeau's face. Oh my, look at the anger in Tom Thibodeau's face, staring directly in Josh Hart's soul. Pissed off, man. A lot of people feel like that, Mike. A lot of people feel like that. And I'll tell you right now, I'm starting to get on that train. I've been on that train. I've been on that train, man. Thibs' seat, I think, is warm. It's warming up. Has to be warming up. I shouldn't say has to be warming up, but because, you know, the Knicks are what? They're 44-24. They're still entrenched in the third seed. We're going to finish at number 3 in the East, guys. It's just a matter of who we play in the first round. But look, you're starting to see some frustration from the players now. And you really haven't seen that. Right? You really haven't seen that. And look, Hart didn't have a leg to stand on in terms of arguing with Tom Thibodeau this game because Hart played like trash. Like Josh Hart was trash this game. So I don't know what they were arguing about, but look, I agree. I agree, Mike. Appreciate you in here, Mike. Ron Bees says Mitch isn't in great game shape yet. He's playing well right now. Yeah, I thought tonight, he just looked slow out there, and he just looked like, you know, a step slow out there, and he just didn't look like Mitch. And lately, he like in the game versus Portland, he was, you know, solid, had some good defensive stops. Obviously, late in that game, he did he fouled what's his name, and then but I think he's been solid. Since Mitchell Robinson's return, the Knicks defense has gone up, and obviously their offense has now taken a hit, and they just have to find themselves like internally. They have to like find something, and it goes on the Knicks coaching staff. They have to find a way to continue to get this offense flowing, to continue to get this offensive scheme flowing. Move the ball, move the basketball, and whether that's not playing pressures of true at all, campaign, he's going to have games like this. He's been And Josh Hart, a goose egg. That's not going to help you offensively. It's not. Appreciate every single one of you guys in here. Knicks lose 94-97 to the Golden State Warriors. They end the West Coast trip 2-3. Shout out to OG. Shout out to Cat. Shout out to, you know, Deuce hitting some timely shots there. But the rest of the guys, Mikal, shout out to them. The rest of the guys just, in their mind, they were already on the plane headed back to New York. Seemed like they wanted no part to be in Golden State playing a basketball game, if you want to be blunt. But it's tough, man. Loud and clear, Deuce stated he played point guard his whole life, and yeah, he did. But loud and clear, you see some of the hesitation in his game at times. You see some of the hesitation in his passes. And look, this is not me getting at Deuce because I thought he played good tonight, but that to me is coaching. Put him in the right spots, put him in the right situations, and put the ball in his hands where he's comfortable at. Not inbounding the basketball in a crucial late game situation, and he turned it over. Mikal should have been in that inbounding spot to inbound the basketball and give yourself a chance. Not 6-foot Deuce McBride. I thought that was a coaching blunder. That's coaching. That's coaching. Right? Unc Dre says, I'm sick of all the excuses. I'm tired of this 5-man rotation. We should just send the whole bench to the G League since we don't even play them. I'm tired of this coach. Unc Dre, man, what's going on? Appreciate you in the chat. Jabroni, I don't know if they fired Thibs at the end of the season, but he's not doing himself any favors. He's not. He's not. Tony, if I was Coach Thibs, I would be pissed off. He probably told Josh, Don't want to repeat that. But look, it's frustrating times, right? Frustrating game. Coming off a great win in Portland, you had 2 days off, kind of refreshed. You wanted to come to Golden State, kind of get your revenge back, kind of get your lick back, right? Draymond talking all this crap in the media and essentially not apologizing to Karl-Anthony Towns, even though he did. I thought it was a lame apology. And Cat is saying all the right things in the media. Karl-Anthony Towns just let his game speak for himself. I mean, Cat was awesome tonight, guys. 29 points, 12 rebounds, 3 of 5 from 3. Just nobody came to help him on the bench. McBride stepped up. OG Anunoby stepped up. Love his physicality. He's a dog. 3 steals for OG. I thought he had Jimmy Butler in a blender sometimes as well, too. Butler couldn't guard this man. And Mikal Bridges, 14 shots, but like Tony said in the chat earlier, these guys only attempted 7 field goal attempts in the second half. And look, there was just no sense of flow from the Knicks in this basketball game. And look, they crept back all the way up. They got down by, I think, as much as 10, if I'm not mistaken. 9. And they kept coming back, right? They kept coming back, but just mental errors. 37% from 3. You outshot them. 43% from the field. You outshot them. This number right here, 18 of 22 from the free throw line. Knicks 11 of 13 from the free throw line. You can point to that. I can point to the referees. NBA referees this season have been trash, man. Trash. 49 rebounds, 45. You out-rebounded them. Offensive rebound, you had more. They had more assists. They had more steals. You had more blocks. 13 turnovers. That's great. 48 points in the paint. Just, you didn't get anything from your bench, man. You know? And Tom Thibodeau, I don't know what he keeps thinking, guys. Let me bring up this graphic that I have because this is just, all right. Here it is. Just to show you guys. Precious Achiuwa, Josh Hart, Mitchell Robinson. Offensive rating of a 28.6, a defensive rating of a 57.1. Tom Thibodeau continues to go to this lineup. Why? It doesn't yield good results. These numbers are absolutely terrible. Like, terrible. And he just continues to go. At what point is Thibs just going to pull the plug on Precious, you know? And put PJ Tucker in there? Or Delon Wright? Somebody. I don't think I could watch Precious play anymore, guys. Like I said earlier, I'm sorry. I don't know. Look, I know Thibs trusts them, but you got to stop that crap, man. You got to stop that nonsense, in my opinion. You bring in PJ Tucker for what? To just cheer on the bench? You trade for Delon Wright. You trade Jericho Sims, who Jericho Sims is, I don't know if you guys have been looking at the Bucks games. Jericho Sims is playing for the Bucks, and he's actually playing really well for them. Not really well. He's playing solid for them. But you bring in, like, you trade Sims, you trade Delon Wright. You thought Delon Wright was going to get some burn. Nothing. Tucker, nothing. I'm not saying these guys can, like, but I'm just saying these guys, in my opinion, can play better than Precious, Payne, who was nothing today. Like, switch it up. Switch it up. And we don't see that. That's not, unless Tom Thibodeau finds some religion, guys, which I don't think he's going to. I don't. And that's where the Mikal Bridges comments come from. That's where it stems from. And that's where the frustration you see on the sidelines stems from. So it's just crazy, man. It's absolutely Great. Jabroni says playing with Josh on offense is like 4 versus 5 sometimes. If he's not on a fast break driving to the basket, he's not much of a threat. Once JB comes back, Deuce should start over him to spread the floor. Yeah, Jabroni. Look, the thing is, Josh Hart has been playing better. He has been playing. He has been shooting. When PJ Tucker came in, when they signed PJ Tucker, Josh Hart has actually been shooting the ball better for this team. And if you look at his game log, right? 2 of 6 versus Portland, 4 of 6 versus Sacramento. That was the game PJ Tucker came in here. 18 points, 11, almost got a triple-double versus Portland. It's just he had a terrible game today. And the Knicks aren't just going to make a drastic change like that. It's just a terrible game from Mr. Hart. And I thought, honestly, that the game from him, the game from Precious, and the game from Payne, you're not going to win, guys. You're not going to win when 3 of your rotational pieces are just going to give you nothing on the basketball court. And when you have a coach that that never deviates from his plan, never. I even thought he played OG at the 5 for a few minutes today because Karl-Anthony Towns was in foul trouble and Precious was just playing awful. No Precious Achiuwa in the minutes in the second half. It should have been no Precious Achiuwa minutes for the entire game. Tony says, I'm going to be honest, if the Knicks don't get TJ Warren and another piece for the bench, we would not beat the Pacers, Bucks, Pistons, Hawks, or Orlando in a 7-game series. Yeah, Tony. A lot of people feel like that, Tony. A lot of people feel like that. Hit the Discord link. It's linked up in the chat. So far, we got Yuri waiting. I see you, Yuri. We'll get to your call a little bit later, but so far, we got Yuri waiting in the Discord. Call-in show. You guys hit the Discord, go to the voice channel, go to the call-in, and you can voice your frustration. And but we'll get to your call a little bit later, Yuri. It's loud and clear. Disc Rover says Sims is playing better for them than he ever did for us. What a cruel joke that is. Sims is a different bro. But that's what I'm saying, man. You trade Sims, and look, Sims would he wasn't doing anything for us, right? So I get the trade. You traded for some wing depth just in case OG goes down, just in case Mikal goes down. I get it. But you're throwing out Precious Achiuwa out there, and it's like, bro, he can't shoot. He's throwing up air balls out there from closer than the free throw line. From 5 feet out, he's throwing out air balls out there. He's losing the ball on a fast break. He's just not engaged. You can't give me anything else. You can't give me Wright in place for him. You can't give me Tucker in place for him. I mean, what'd you bring him here for? Practice? Just to practice? Like, you signed Beauchamp. I'm not asking for them to play these guys. I'm just saying, like, deviate from your plan sometimes. And look, I've said it multiple times. That's not in the coach. That's not in his head. He's never gonna do that. That's not Tom Thibodeau's DNA. He's not gonna find religion and all of a sudden play those guys. It's not gonna happen. That's not how he coaches. Which leads me to the reason why you get the Mikal Bridges comments and you get some frustration within the fan base. So when you have losses like this, it's gonna bring up definitely frustration, especially the way this played out, man. Loud and Clear says Pistons will clear us in 5. Wow. Tyrone says Jimmy Butler wins wherever he goes. Yeah, man, it's crazy. What are the Warriors? 12-1 with Jimmy Butler now. And look, man, he's a winner. He's a winner. He is a winner. All right, let's go to the standings really quick. So Knicks 5-5 in their last 10, guys. 42-24 on the season. They are pretty much locked and sealed in the 3rd seed unless something drastic changes and the Bucks overtake them. But they're not going to leapfrog Boston. I doubt they're going to fall back to 4, but you never know. Anything can happen. So what you're pretty much waiting on is who you're going to face in the 6th seed in the first round, and obviously that's very fluent. Right now it's Detroit, or Indiana or Milwaukee. But right now it is Detroit with the possibility of the Atlanta Hawks in there as well. But right now you got the news that Jalen Brunson is not going to be back until end of March, early April. So that brings you to, April 1st versus Philly, at Cleveland April 2nd. Maybe he comes back at Cleveland because he definitely wants to get that 65. He wants to hit the 65 game threshold because he's not eligible for all NBA unless he does that. So I think he wants to be eligible for that. So he comes back for 5 games and then you sit him. Right? You don't really want to push it, but you got the news that Brunson's out. Season's winding down here, man. But now the schedule kind of lightens up, right? You come back home after an 11-day trip. It's a long trip. Miami, San Antonio, Charlotte, Washington. It's a light schedule. You can get fat on some of these wins, but the Knicks seriously have some work to do. And, job not over, man. You got some work to do, especially the coaching staff. I don't like what I'm seeing in terms of offensive schemes. That's for sure. Chris Conner says, looking like a first-round L is on the way for us in the playoffs. I don't see this squad beating any of these teams in a playoff series. Oof. I tell you this right now, guys. If we lose to Detroit, Indiana, or who else is there? Detroit, Indiana, or Milwaukee in the first round, somebody's gonna go. And you would think that's Tom Thibodeau, in my opinion. Because then you would essentially take a step back in year one of a whole new group with one of your own players, Mikal Bridges, talking about the thing that has been talked about for years, that has been attached to Tom Thibodeau since his days in Chicago, about minutes and about playing the bench and about giving someone else, giving others opportunities. But the bench didn't show up tonight. And it's like all I've been hearing is like, who do you want Tom Thibodeau to play? That's all I'm hearing, right? It's all you hear from the retort from people on the radio or the media. Like, who do you want him to play? I don't know, man. Kolek? Can we see some Kolek? Can we see Tucker out there for 5 minutes rather than Precious Achiuwa? DeLon Wright, you haven't seen him, but he's a journeyman. He's not going to give you pretty much offensively, but he's better than a Precious Achiuwa offensively. So you're not seeing these guys, right? And I'm not saying they're going to save the bench. I'm just saying sometimes Tom Thibodeau needs to change it up and let us see something different, because right now Thibs is he's predictable. You know what's coming. Robert says 4 seed probably better than a 3 seed. Yeah, Robert. Falling back to that 4 seed, that means you get Cleveland in the second round. A lot of Knicks fans want that route, but guys, at this rate, it's like Cleveland is on another 13-game winning streak. Is that correct? 16-game winning streak. These guys can't lose. So this is not the same Cleveland team. So Boston is going to finish second. And if you get past the second round right now, you're going to stare at the Boston Celtics in the second round. And this Knicks team anything could happen in the playoffs, but this Knicks team hasn't given you any sense of confidence that they are ready to compete with them. But like I said, anything can happen in the playoffs. But, it's a weird situation because the captain's down and you kind of have to, and you kind of have to change the way you play now that Jalen Brunson's down and figure your offense out differently. And the positives are that your defense is getting better, right? The positives is that the Knicks defensively have seemed like they're starting to find a little bit of an identity. And that is important, especially in the playoffs. Like I said, when Mitch has come back, defense has improved. So now they're struggling with finding another identity offensively. And a lot of Knicks fans just don't trust this coach in finding their rhythm offensively, finding a new coaching offensive scheme. And for good reason, because you just haven't seen it, right? You just haven't seen it. But right now, you deposited our defense is getting better. You got to find ways offensively to get going, and we just have to go from there. Tony says, I'm giving up on Coach Thibodeau to play anyone else on the team. Marchon says he won't put in different guys out there because they might do good. Then he will feel pressure from everyone, and we didn't get blown out tonight. Yeah, man. Chris Connor says 5 to 10 minutes for Tyler Kolek, Pacom Dadier, Beauchamp, Kevin McCullough Jr., Moses Brown per game will make a huge difference. Look, what you're getting right now from Precious Achiuwa is just absolutely garbage. You're not getting anything from him. So it's up to Tom Thibodeau to look in the mirror and be like, look, should I continue to play this player who just has continued to give me nothing, or should I deviate and give someone else a shot? Like, come on, man. In my opinion, you gotta give someone else an opportunity out there. You do. Get your offense going. Give them a spark. Give them some juice. Maybe throw Kolek out there. You never know what can happen. Creed says Josh was terrible, but the players are turning on Thibs. The Knicks are heading towards turmoil. Creed is talking about this, guys. Josh Hart, Tom Thibodeau screaming at each other. You hate to see it. Just look at the angst in Thibs' face. Look at that, man. It's like a grown-up yelling at a child. Look how angry he is. Obviously, I'm looking at the post-game comments to see if we get anything from Tom Thibodeau. If we have gotten something. I'm trying to see if the media has said anything or if they've talked yet. We'll see regarding that. But all right, let's get to the Discord. Hit the Discord. Call into the show. Obviously, we got two people waiting, El Figgy and Yuri, in the Discord waiting. Those of you in the chat, you can hit the pin linked. Join the Discord. Hop in the post-game call-in show. All right, let's get to this. Ba, 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 ba. All right. Test. Do you guys hear me? Do you guys hear me? Let me know if you guys can hear me in the chat. No sound or sound? No sound? No sound or sound? Let me know. Very low. All right. All right. They're saying very low. All right. Change it up really quick. Give me 1 second. Sorry, some technical difficulties. You guys can hear me better now, right? All right. Trying to unmute Yuri. Give me a second. Yuri, go in the lounge. Head over to the lounge. Go ahead, Yuri.
looking at the comments. Whether y'all like to admit it or not, this is going to be the hot take I have. Even if you do fire Tibbs, where are we really going to go? Like, honestly. I think we have that fear of, okay, say we do fire Tibbs, right? Do you really want to be a losing team again? That's how I look at it. That's why I'm against the firing Tibbs part. I get it. He sucks. Poor coaching. But come on, when you see Josh Hart yelling at Tibbs, I think that's a normal thing, personally, because people argue all the time. It's in the NBA, especially in a competitive setting when you want to win a game.
Yeah.
But when you see it live on national television, then it gives you a different topic on it. Obviously, the defense is getting better. I like the defense. I like the fact that we were doing good on the 3-point defense. But now the offense is taking a hit. That's a problem. I'm not worried about it because I'm pretty sure they're going to get it together. But if this is what it's going to be like without Jalen, oh boy, we're in for a rough 2 weeks. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, look, the Knicks are in a good spot in the 3rd seed. Obviously, if they lose a lot in these next couple of weeks, they could fall to 4. But look, I think a lot of people are just over Thibs because of just the staleness. Like
I am too. Don't think I'm not. I am too. I didn't like, that whole lineup. Listen, I might be for Tibbs, but I'm kind of over him too at this point. But he's our coach, and I'm not going to say fire Tibbs because I don't wish anybody to be fired. That's how I am.
Yeah.
I don't want nobody to lose their jobs. Period. But if Tibbs does get knocked out in the first round, Tibbs is out of here. Let's just face it. First round, he's not going to be out. I don't think he will be on a hot seat. That seat will become lava. But I wouldn't be surprised, Ann, if he's fired in the offseason coming up. I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't either, especially what happens in the first round. Obviously, we'll see what happens there. But I wouldn't either. Like, if you were to give me odds, I would say 50-50 right now.
Even after that Mikal Bridges comment, I was like thinking, okay, if Mikal Bridges has got a problem.
Yeah.
Then what does that tell you? Because I'm on Mikal Bridges' side when he says this. Apparently, they did talk it over. That the meeting was productive, quote unquote.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
But
I don't.
All I'm gonna say.
Go ahead.
All I'm gonna say is that this was a game that we wanted to win. Obviously, we didn't win it. Should we throw in the towel? No, we shouldn't. This team is in a rut right now without Jalen Brunson. Let's just be real. And obviously, I blame Tibbs for that because why are we relying on Jalen Brunson to do all the work for us?
Yeah.
Why? I get it. He's an all-star. I love Jalen as much as the next guy is. Don't get me wrong. But in this situation, Bruce looks lost out there.
Running the offense, yeah. Yuri, appreciate you with the call. Always appreciate you.
No problem.
All right.
Tell Vicky to come in.
Yeah. Having some technical difficulties here. Let me try this one more time. Sorry, I'm trying to join the but you guys can't hear me. Hello? All right. El Figgy, come in the lounge. Hop in the lounge to get your point off, El Figgy. All right, as we wait for El Figgy, let me try to can you guys hear me good? Sorry, all over the place tonight. But yeah, tough loss. Knicks lose. Obviously, it's one of those games. Captain, and you should have won. Karl Anthony Towns was incredible. for this team, and you move on. Now you head home. You're in the midst of a long road trip. All right, El Figgy. Let me try to get El Figgy in here. El Figgy. El Figgy, unmute yourself if you can. Hello? El Figgy. Hey, what's up? Hold on, let me make sure they can hear you. Can you? Yeah, there's a delay. Yeah, I can hear you. Let me make sure they can hear you in the chat. Sheesh. Technical difficulties. I hate this. I hate technical difficulties. Hate it. El Figgy, what's up? Sorry.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, now just nothing's going right.
Yeah.
Yo, can you hear me?
Evan, I see you in the Evan, what's going on?
Oh, okay, nigga, I am too upset, so I'm hopping out.
It's okay. It's all right.
Let's get to El Figgy first, and then we'll get to you. We'll get to you, Evan.
No. I'm too upset. Get to El Figgy and that's it.
All right. El Figgy, what's up?
Yeah.
What you got?
Let's get to El Figgy first. No.
Hello?
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead, El Figgy, you live.
hey. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I can't hear. There's a delay with Evan. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a lot to unpack tonight. The one thing there's a couple of good things. It's not all, let's just jump off a cliff. Some of the good stuff I saw tonight is I feel like we were closer to beating this team when Cat was there and Jalen wasn't. When Cat wasn't there and we had Jalen, I figured, that would be a better matchup. We got Jalen shooting, we got the offense. But actually, with Cat out there, we did better tonight. So I'm gonna assume that when Jalen gets back on the team, we'll be even better. We obviously were missing Cat that first game against Golden State.
Yeah, look, obviously we're missing the captain right now, and we're trying to figure out life without Jalen Brunson for these next few weeks. I thought Cat was phenomenal. Execution down the stretch was bad, and they didn't move the ball, and some mental errors, and they just have to clean that up. And most point that at coaching, most point that at the players, and it's a long road trip. You're coming home, and it's just one of those games, man. It's one of those games.
Yeah, no, we were closer tonight with Cat. He closed the gap that we had the first time around when we played against them. That's encouraging to know. I'm good with that. I feel like when Jalen gets back, we'll be good with that. Even without Josh Hart, and again, Josh Hart played like garbage tonight, complete trash. We're not even going to sugarcoat it. He didn't show up. He didn't show up on either end of the floor. I mean, I think he had 4 or 5 turnovers, not to mention 0 points. Whatever's going through Josh's head right now since the All-Star break, he hasn't been the same. But even with that, we were close tonight. If Josh Hart scores even 6-7 points, we win this game.
Yep.
So, again, I want to give him a pass because, again, everybody, right away is ready to throw the baby away with the bathwater. Josh Hart shows up game in, game out for us. He's Mr. Hustle. I'm not gonna go and, throw him under the bus just yet. I think that we still have 16 games left to play. If we win even half of those, we're better. We have a better record than we did last season. Now, do I think we're a better team than we were last season? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We could compete with the Celtics last year. Can't do that this year. The Celtics have stepped it up, and the Cavs have stepped it up. And if you look at the Cleveland Cavaliers and what they've done is they've revamped their coaching staff. Is that something we need to look at this year? Maybe.
Something we need to look at. I'll figure. Appreciate the call.
Yeah.
Having a lot of technical difficulties tonight because I freaking made a new channel in the Discord and I should have freaking did a test, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Look, it's one of those nights, man. 12:14 a.m. on the East Coast. Sitting here vibing with you guys. Appreciate every single one of you hopping in here. Appreciate the calls. Loud and clear. If you want to hop in again, keep it PG. I know you're frustrated. But just one of those games. Look, we're 42 and 24. You had a long road trip. You move on. You're on to the. You're coming back home. You're flying back home. You're 2 and 3 on the West Coast trip, and you just hope that Brunson can get back, and you hope that this coaching staff can find different ways for this Knicks offense to improve, because you have Mikal Bridges, you have Karl Anthony Towns, you have OG Anunoby. Like, there's no way like this offense should be just stagnant at times, especially they got to find ways to put people in their proper positions and to play well. And, you know, too many times this year we just haven't really seen that. And it's a concern. It is. This team is too talented. And look, tonight your bench was terrible. Terrible. And that's why you lost. It's awful. Like Hart, again, terrible. Presses Achua. Like, guys, man, I it's frustrating, man. Presses is frustrating at times. He is. Loud and clear. Appreciate you. All right, guys. This was fun. Appreciate every single one of you in here. I'm going to try to fix the Discord issue, but appreciate you guys. As always, let's go Knicks. Back home. Let's do it. Captain, get healthy soon. Tom Thibodeau, please figure something out, man, because the seat, in my opinion, is starting to warm up on Mr. Tom Thibodeau. But appreciate every single one of you in here. Tony says coaching bench. Hart presses all terrible. Yeah, it's terrible. Terrible game, guys. Have a good night. Enjoy your Sunday early morning. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.